Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Smiles on faces, we're happy today. We've woken up in peace for the first time in about 3 months. Honestly, top result yesterday with Chelsea beating Borussia Dortmund 2-0 and progressing to the quarter-final of the Champions League. Talking about quarter-final of the Champions League, I was over on Mr. GBFC's channel earlier on, Mr. George Benson. Make sure you check out that video. I will link a card for you right here. Check this out after you are done with this to check out our tier list in terms of potential quarter-final opponents in the Champions League. We go through all of them and we put them in a tier list as to whether we think we would be beneficial facing them, or if we're better off avoiding them, or if some teams are just unlikely to be playing us whatsoever. So make sure you check that out. It's a good 20-minute video or so going through all the possible opponents, including the English teams left in the competition, because now quarter-final onwards you can play anybody. There's no rules. It's just pick a ball out of a pot and pick another one out of a pot. You're playing each other. That's it. So make sure you check that video out. And tomorrow, make sure you're here because we got George appearing on here to discuss more of the fallout of yesterday's fixture between Chelsea and Borussia Dortmund and what that result means for Chelsea going forward. Now, make sure you're here for that. Also, Twitter and Instagram, links in the description. Make sure you're following me on those. Today, we're going to talk about one guy and one guy only, and that's the gaffer in charge, isn't it? Mr. Graham Potter. Things need to be said, right? There needs to be a clarification of statements, and there needs to be, I think, a little discussion. A genuine discussion, no biases, no agendas, no nothing, even though I can promise you, right? I know some people think, oh, Younes, you got an agenda. I genuinely do not have an agenda. My prime objective is to see my football club win football matches and remain successful. That's it. That's it, right? So I'm going to give an honest assessment of Graham Potter yesterday and the differences compared from yesterday as compared to the rest of the season, and how I think it's going to move forward, and what I deem as acceptable and unacceptable. We'll get into it. So, Graham Potter, yesterday, actually got a job done. And I have to say, fair play to that. I said it in my review, in terms of the things that I thought he'd done right. But I see a momentous shift, especially on social media. Maybe not on the streets or face-to-face with people, but on social media, I'm seeing a momentous shift. Everyone's gassing up things now. Graham Potter, he's the guy. That's it. He's the one. He is it. We're gonna win the Champions League with Potter now. We're gonna win the quadruple in about 3 years with Graham Potter. Right? Listen. What's my stance? Am I still Potter out? Right? Am I Potter in? Let me answer the question off the bat. Not yet. No. And I'll explain. I reckon he's bought himself time. And I think based on what we've seen the last 2 games, yesterday especially, he does deserve the time. Right? To continue over the next few games. We make a continued assessment now. Right? I'm not letting go. I'm not just going to go, oh, you beat Dortmund, fantastic. All right, the 5-year contract is back in place. Here you go, sunshine. No. What one observation is that right as soon as real pressure actually arrived, not pressure from us, a lot of people actually deem that, myself or the others or people that are on here have a massive influence over the decisions that take place at Chelsea Football Club. I genuinely don't think so. That's like saying Mark Goldbridge has, influence over what goes on at Manchester United. I don't think so, right? That's just the reality. We come on here, we give our opinions. That's it. I come on here and I tell you what I think. A lot of you want to know what my opinion is and you enjoy watching my content. That's basically it. I come on here and I tell you what I think. That's it. I don't think there's an influence to the decisions that are made at the actual football club, at our respective clubs. So when it comes to Graham Potter, right, and how well he done last night, I don't think that's a decisive matter in terms of, that's it, we are going to completely, fully trust you with everything moving forward. I think there needs to be a continued assessment now. He has bought himself time. The moment that real pressure came on from the club, You could see that the reports had shifted. It wasn't a case of, Potter's under a little bit of pressure. Some players coming in support of him and whatnot. No, there was genuine now concern of Todd Bowley and the ownership are now maybe considering, are now looking at the next 2 games. When all of that started, we're now starting to see performances. We're now starting to see results. Been 2 games though. It's too soon. It's way too soon for anyone that was critical of Graham Potter to be able to look at this and go, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Everything I said is now invalid. No. Everything that was said is still valid. Is still completely and utterly valid. But what I will say is what I saw yesterday is what I've been waiting to see for months. Months. And it's a start. You have to start somewhere. So this is why I'm saying he deserves now a little bit of time to see what happens against Leicester, to see what happens against Everton. Because let me tell you something. If we bottle it on Saturday against Leicester, right, we're back to square one. We continue and then we bottle it to Everton. Well, it makes the Champions League result just look like a bit of luck. Or Dortmund didn't show up, or Bellingham got, his underwear in a twist, which he kind of did, and that was kind of weird to see at the end of the game, the way he flipped out and went straight to Cucurella and just pushed him for no reason. Bellingham lost his head completely. He's 19 years old, he's inexperienced, and needs to learn how to calm himself in a situation like that, especially after the full-time whistle results already done. And Bellingham didn't even really play that well, so he should be looking at himself and his own performance. Maybe he was frustrated with himself, maybe. Anyway, that's a story for a different day. But it would make the Dortmund game just look like a bit of luck. Well, we don't want that. What we do want is to go on and beat Leicester, to then go on and beat Everton, to then make it seem like, oh, you know what, maybe since that Dortmund game we've actually woken up. Maybe we have a solution on our hands. Maybe we are now turning in the right direction. Maybe we have turned the corner. That's when you can start asking questions about maybe we found the switch. But that's not now. That's not now. No, not now. Yesterday, as I've said, there were positive signs. What were the positive signs? The positive signs were, for the first time, and there was a slight bit of this against Leeds, but yesterday I genuinely saw it. And I don't get why it's taken up until now for us to see it. But the amount of times Graham Potter was on the touchline, dishing out all sorts of instructions, and this is what I mean by, I don't just want managers to throw their arms up in the air for the sake of it, like, and pointing in all directions and it means nothing, right? I'm not for that. There has to be substance. You could see that he was completely drilled in. He was completely focused, concentrating on every single little thing, guiding every single little thing, pulling players over to come and talk to them privately, and you see him making all sorts of gestures and giving tactical instruction. This is what we've wanted. And we want this when the results are going pear-shaped, because we want to believe that you have the solution. And it's not just that, right? It's not just that. That's one of the things. During the game, we did resort back to a system that I think we are more in tune with and have been since Thomas Tuchel. And that's not just, we've just gone to a back 3 and that's it, right? Because I look at the Dortmund performance and I do think that there were slight differences compared to how we would play under Thomas Tuchel. And I have to say, right, even with the back 3 and how defensive we were, at times on the counter-attack, we looked a little more direct than we would have when we were playing the back 3 under Thomas Tuchel. Right? We were a little bit more, I would say, patient playing under Thomas Tuchel in that system, although we had vast amount of experience with it. But with Graham Potter in yesterday's game, it was almost waiting for the opportunity and then 2-3 passes, we need to be at the box. And that's exactly what we did do, and then we would fluff the chance. I like that. I like seeing my team play direct football. That's just my opinion. That's just my own personal preference. I like my teams playing direct. That's it. But that was another thing. Being able to adjust in-game. His in-game management yesterday was really good, right? So that's another thing. And that's something that needs to be continued game after game after game. Not just on the game where it means everything, like yesterday did. It meant our season yesterday. But we need to do it on a consistent basis. Even when you're playing against Leicester, you're playing against Everton, it needs to be the same standard, right? It has to be. And towards the end of the game, we saw for the first time from Graham Potter, for the first time, I could look at Graham Potter and feel a connection. And I mean that. I'm not just saying that for the sake of it. I genuinely mean that. And again, I don't want a manager to just come on camera and go, yeah, come on, yeah, just for the sake of it. No, but you could see on his face that he meant it. That's what we want. That's what we want. And it's not just we want that only. I'm not a passion merchant and just go, I just want passion, right? I couldn't care less about results. I just want a bit of passion, right? That's not me. Showing the passion, backing it up with wins and with results, perfect recipe. You've won us over. Yesterday, for the first time, when I see him come on the pitch and he's hugging his players and you could see there was genuine connection with some of them, proper. And then he comes over to the Matthew Arden and he's proper having it, proper letting it go. And you could see it wasn't fake, right? People can read. People are not stupid. You can't insult people's intelligence. It's why I try to come on here and be as honest and direct and real as possible. I tell you exactly how I feel, and no matter what your opinion is, not that I couldn't care less, I do, but I'm completely open to any opinion in the comment section below. Go for it. You agree, you disagree, I will tell you what I feel, and I won't change it for anyone. Right? If you like it or don't like it, that's how it is. That's how I am, and that's what I feel like people can read in other people. I get that. And I want that in Potter. I want to be able to know that he's being real, right? And yesterday, you could see that when he did make those gestures, right? It was real. It was real. And it was backed with a result we needed, a result we came back in, a result where we hadn't scored 2 goals since December. Everything was in a package. That's what we want. That's it. That's what we want, right? So he deserves the praise. 100% for yesterday. It's a step in the right direction. And I want that, the way he done it yesterday, to continue. Now, when you're talking about his in-game management and the back three, I'm seeing a lot of people say, oh, going to a back three is the ultimate solution and that's it, right? That's the only reason. And no. Because, and I will show you, when it comes to formations and what we've actually done, this is what we've done across the course of the season. Check this out. For his time at Chelsea, since he started, we've gone to a back three and won games. We've had a back three and we've lost games. We've gone to a back four and we've won games. We've gone to a back four and we've lost games. It's completely in context with each and every game. When you play one certain formation, unless if you can absolutely execute it week in, week out, because you have the talent and you have the players to do it and no one can match you, fair enough. But if you haven't, there is a chance you will get found out, right? And you have to make an adjustment. This, what we've seen over the last 2 games is, I believe, us going back to what we've known even before Potter. I feel like we are playing in a Thomas Tuchel-esque sort of way, but there are slight differences. Like I told you, in attack or the way that we counter is slightly different to the way that we done it under Tuchel. You got to make tweaks, and that's not copying. I don't blame Potter for doing that. Potter knows that he needs a result, and he's made the correct decision to go and get the result. Done. And that's all I'm bothered about. I want results. So he's made the correct decision there, and I'm going to give him praise for that. Fair play to him. Absolute fair play to him. He done the right thing. In football, and when it comes to systems and formations and tactics, there's no copying. In fact, you learn from people that came before you, and you learn from managers that are making certain decisions even right now in and around you. You know, there's no copying. Oh, you copied Tuchel. Well, no. Tuchel didn't invent the back three or playing a 3-4-3. He didn't invent that. That's just one of the options that are there. So it is what it is. Potter, for that, I feel like, does deserve praise. He's not being stubborn enough to go, oh no, we're just going to stick with this, right? He actually assessed the situation and went to a way that is going to complement Chelsea right now whilst the results are absolutely needed. And I want him to stick with it. I want him to stick with that. Don't tinker too much now. You found something that works. Stick with it and try and adjust it. Done. So we'll see what happens. This is why I'm saying now we got to wait. Leicester, Everton. Let's see if he does build on that. And if he does, then happy days. Happy days. Now, in terms of, have to acknowledge the negatives here. Why I'm not saying, oh, the Potter in now blindly. No. Why I need to give time is because the results speak for itself. It's only been 2 wins, right? And absolutely 2 wins out of the 2 is all we can possibly do. But now we need 3. And then we need 4. And then we need 5. And we need to keep it going. We need to start showing that there is genuine form being picked up now. Because up until now, his record at Chelsea, I say this politely, but it stinks. It absolutely reeks. Let's show you some of the stats here, because it's mind-blowing. We've had 28 games under Graham Potter now, a points per match of 1.43 points. 1.43 points on average per match. It equates to 39.2% win percentage. 39.2%. It's not good, lads. It's not good. When you look at it, look, he started off sea of green quite well, and then it just went absolutely pear-shaped. Only up until now, where we've picked up 2 wins in a row, right? When you look at the record of all previous Chelsea managers, right, go back, way back, all the way back to Ian Porterfield. If anyone even remembers Ian Porterfield. I wasn't even born. I had to do research to find out who Ian Porterfield was. Glenn Hoddle. But Graham Potter now is actually slightly above this, right? He has brought it back up to 31.5% in terms of the Premier League. And overall, all competitions, it is 39.2% win percentage, which is shocking. It's shocking. Which is like right now, that's the reason why right now I can't just go, oh yeah, Potter in, absolutely. No. You've bought yourself time. You now need to show during that time that you have found a solution, mate. And that you are prioritising results like you have done in the past 2 games, right? I'm not all for just, oh yeah, I want to see my team just play absolutely attacking, beautiful champagne football. I'm not all for that. If we can do it, great. But if we can't, like we clearly can't right now, then I just want to see what you can do to get the result. Against Leeds, he done it. Against Dortmund, he did do it. I have to say, did do it. And even in terms of, hey, the players gave everything. He said it yesterday, and for the first time, I believed him. For the first time, I looked at him and I was like, I ain't got a problem with you saying that. Not tonight. You are correct. I agree with you. The players did give everything, because you can see people are not stupid. People can see these sort of things. This is why before I wasn't agreeing with a lot of things. For yesterday, it's evident. It's clear. It's crystal. You can't deny it, right? We got to keep it going. With this and the win percentage, I'm sorry, but it's not good enough, right? 39.2% is shocking. As the chart indicates, right? And I understand that's for all competitions, but if we are basing it on the Premier League record, that's David Webb territory. I mean, come on. You know, that's just, it's not good enough. Frank Lampard was on 49.1% in the Premier League, you know, and overall in and around that bracket, if I'm not mistaken. For me, what's genuine improvement, because now I believe he will get, unless if we were to somehow lose the next 2 games, right? I feel like we'll be back at square one. If we were to lose against Leicester, pressure's back on, and then we bottle it against Everton, well, at that point, it's gone back to how it was prior to Leeds. That's how I see it, right? Because you can't have 2 wins and then go back to losing. 2 wins in this manner, especially the Dortmund game, with the atmosphere and the energy and the real feel that maybe things are turning, to then go back and lose 2 on the bounce. You can't do that. Or drop points on the bounce. You can't do that. That means that you have a fundamental problem and it's not getting sorted. So there is that. But if we were to win, right? If we were to beat Leicester, beat Everton, or get good results and start to build, my analysis is that, okay, if he does that, he will get until the end of the season, because now we're in March. We've got 2 months left until the end of the season. There's not much point changing, especially after getting good results against Leeds and against Dortmund, if we can continue that. So, what would be deemed acceptable for me to look at Graham Potter at the end of the season and go, maybe we keep going? At that point, what will it take for me to be Potter in? Right? I will tell you, I have one rule, one goal, one aim, one objective, one expectation. If he meets this, I will say give him next season. If he doesn't, out the door. What is it? From now, and you know what? I might even include the last 2 games. I might even include Leeds and Dortmund, because it does. If we were to beat Leicester, beat Everton and build up form, you would have to count the turn from Leeds, right? So I could count it from there. But from now onwards, I want Graham Potter to have a 55% win percentage minimum. 55. It's the bare minimum. If we go back to the chart, right, if we go back to this, that's Sarri territory. And that's Tuchel territory. In terms of, and that's not just Premier League, I'm going all competitions. I would deem that as acceptable. Acceptable. No less than 55. I wanted to say 60. But then I looked and I was like, you know what, 55, fair enough. 39.2 is not good. Good doesn't even qualify to be in the phrase, right? Even as not good, doesn't qualify. It's shocking. It shouldn't happen, right? From now, or from Leeds, we can give him 2 games leeway because it counts. So from Leeds up until the end of the season, I want a minimum of a 55% win percentage, all competitions with Graham Potter, which basically means the Premier League and the Champions League. And I would feel, honestly, I have to say this, in terms of the Champions League, I feel like we have reached the objective. The quarterfinal was a realistic objective in terms of where we've been and where we are. But we're there now, which means that we need to look further. The objective needs to be the semi-final now. And then the objective needs to be the final. And if we can do that, then that's absolutely monumental. That really is. So 55% from now until the end of the season. And if there's any sign that that won't be met, out the door. But if he does make it at the end of the season and he does get that 55 minimum, give him the summer window and let's go next season. That's my realistic and honest ask, I would say, of Graham Potter. Deliver that and you get time. Because yesterday proved to me that there are things in Graham Potter that he needs to use more. And if he does, then he might just find a solution. If not, he proves to us that he hasn't got the solution and we would need to make a change. So there we are. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree with everything that I've said. And don't forget to catch the video that me and George will be doing tomorrow on here. And as I've already mentioned, the one that we've done on his channel today, which is linked right here in the card. Make sure you check that out right now and enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash like button if you have enjoyed this. Don't forget also tomorrow, All You Can Eat Chelsea live over on Matisse's channel at 11. No, is that going to be live or is it a premiere? I don't know. But do keep your eyes out on Matisse's channel. All You Can Eat Chelsea will be out tomorrow, where we will discuss everything in relation to this week, which has been a good week for Chelsea. So make sure you're there. And I will see all of you tomorrow on here for a brand new video. Have a good one, people. See you lot then. Take care and peace.